Hi, I'm David,
And I'm Leslie.
and we enjoy spending our vacations traveling around the world by bicycle.
On some previous
And we're
trips,
cycling
we
along.
cycled around Sweden and Denmark, marveling at
asked
the
for better weather.
amazing cycle paths there. A couple summers ago, we flew into Paris, and we made our way to the Loire Valley and cycled around there for a few weeks. It was amazing. Mostly, though, we spent some great time here in Ontario, marveling at the wonderful landscape that we live in.
We're starting this trip at the end of June 2024 and plan to spend about 3 weeks cycling largely north on the Eurovelo 15. We flew into Frankfurt, spent the night, assembled our bikes, and then took a train to Andermatt, Switzerland, where we then cycled down Eurovelo 15 through Liechtenstein and Austria to Basel, Switzerland. Then we cycled a little bit west towards the Eurovelo 5 and cycled through the Alsace region, through Strasbourg, and then cycled back into Germany to Offenburg, and then took a train to Luxembourg, where we cycled over towards the Mosel River, down the Mosel River to Koblenz, and then back up on the Rhine, and ended in Mainz, where we took a train back to Frankfurt. This is the seventh and final video in our series, where we leave the city of Cochem and begin cycling northward on the Mosel River for approximately 50 or 60 kilometers, going through some cute little villages and very steep vineyards on the side of the Moselle, as we've shown before. We eventually reach where the Moselle and the Rhine come together, the confluence called Deutsches Eck, and there's a big monument there, so we spend some time enjoying the sights and the crowds of people there. Then we begin heading south up the Rhine River back towards Mainz. This section of the Rhine is known for its old castles, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We cross over the 100-kilometer mark, making this the longest ride of our trip. And then we get to the city of Bacharach, where we enjoy walking around, seeing some sights, have a nice dinner there. The next morning we continue south on the Rhine River towards Mainz, where we're going to catch a train taking us to Frankfurt Airport Station, where we then pack up our bicycles and check into our hotel back where we started the trip about 3 weeks earlier. And the next morning, get up early and check the bikes in for the return flight to Canada. All right, we are on our long day of cycling from Cochem down the Moselle for about 50 kilometers to Koblenz, and then we're going to turn right and go up the Rhine River for about 50 kilometers to Bacharach, where we're staying tonight. 102 kilometers according to the GPS, and it's sunshiny. I think it's 19 or 20 degrees. High of 28, 0% chance of rain, which I again believe today. And the whole day will be on the left bank of the Moselle, and then we'll cross near Koblenz, and then we'll be on the, I guess again, the left bank going down the river on the Rhine. So there it is. It's one of the dozens and dozens of large campgrounds we're seeing. So on the other hand, exceedingly no accommodation for tents.
As you can hear from the car noise, this was definitely one of the busier sections of our ride.
And you can also see that this is one area where we're not separated from the road very clearly.
And we never had one incident. The drivers were very respectful. It was easy if it was a little noisy.
Yeah. Crosses though. There's a church up in there as well. Load, isn't it? It's a crazy thing here. I'd have been here a long time because they built the road over it. We were under it. It's weird. Beep, beep, beep. So about this group. Vines coming up we've nominated as the steepest vines we've seen. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a good picture of them here as we come around the corner. Cyclist and a walker. Hello. 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 Walkers. They're doing the steep terrace walk. Yeah, those are crazy, aren't they? Hello. Not, just not. So we're about, I don't know, 15 kilometers from Koblenz now. A lot more action, notably trains and boats. Big highway there. And some seemingly near vertical hills with grapevines on them. And those are south facing, so no expense spared. Yep. So we're going over the Mosel. To the right there is upriver. Straight ahead is Koblenz, and then down there is the down direction for the Mosel. And just around the bend, presumably, is the meeting of the Rhine and the Mosel. This is the back of Deutsches Eck. Feature there. The greeting party? Yeah. We may have to walk from here on out, I think. So So there's the Rhine, the mighty Rhine. So I'm going to go back down that way when we're done. I think we're okay. It's pretty low key here. That's a big statue. Oh, the cable car. Those are cable cars. Deutsches Eck. There's some Rhine. Those are bigger. The Rhine ships. They can handle bigger ones. I'm really glad we came down here. This is kind of a fun thing to cycle to. So there's the Rhine. I'm going to park at the next one, I think. Rhine on the right, Moselle on the left. Giant statue there. After leaving Deutsches Eck, we now head south on the Rhine River for the first time in about a week after having last been on the Rhine when we passed out of Basel towards the Alsace. We're now cycling towards Bacharach, Germany, where we'll spend the night, and then we'll have our last half day on the Rhine before we take a train back to Frankfurt. I'm not sure what town this is. Plenty of docks. About 5 kilometers or so up. This is nice. This is alternates between amazing path and I hate you path. So we're about 4 kilometers from Bacharach, and there's some grapevines back here on the Rhine. Either that's the worst river cruise, they pile you on big lumps of dirt, or it's a barge. About as warm as we felt, I think, out in the open here. 3 lanes of asphalt and no shade. That thing has 2 cars in the back as well. I think you have some bikes behind you. What was that? Oh, yeah, well, so we are using our Senna R1 helmets, so Leslie can talk to me and I can talk to her. We can talk in grocery stores, one outside. We can be pretty far away from each other and still talk. It's actually so much better than having to like catch up with each other and turn your heads around and talk. Noisy little section here. Yep, another one.
Bitte nehmen Sie ein Tütchen, öffnen Sie die Klappe und stecken es in den Mund.
Film it. Hello, 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 hello. Great train there. We just got passed by a passenger train. And it's 2 ferries, 2 castles, 2 cyclists.
This section of the Rhine Valley is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Actually, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Corridor. And it's known for its scenic, stunning beauty, its historic castles, which we've been passing throughout the entire ride, charming towns and vineyards. It's a 65-kilometer stretch. It's really spectacular.
We're just passing, how many kilometers here? 90 something. Yeah. 96 point something, yeah. Oh, St. Gorge, well, there's a big castle up there too.
Yeah, well, that's a church. But you see on the
No, above it. It's
Yeah.
way up there.
Oh, man. Seems to be that we didn't spend the right amount of time in the right place.
That's nice. There's a lot in this town. Yeah, there's Viking. There's the ferry we've been riding with for the last 20 minutes. We're gonna beat it to the dock.
For the last night of the trip, we stayed in Bacharach, Germany. We couldn't have picked a more picturesque town to spend our last evening. It's one of the towns in the UNESCO-listed Upper Middle Rhine Valley that we mentioned earlier. We could easily have spent more time here with castles, lots of old walled parts of the city, beautiful churches. It was really a very pleasant evening. After checking into the hotel, we walked around the town and took in everything that it had to offer. One of the most notable landmarks in Bacharach is the Werner Chapel, a ruined Gothic structure built in the late 13th century. It was actually never completed and became somewhat of a destination and pilgrimage site. It was worth the hike up because of the views back down on the town. After hiking around, we found an amazing little restaurant on the city wall, had a spectacular dinner, our last one, and it had to be spatzel, ended with some Riesling ice cream, and it was really just a glorious evening.
Alright, just left Bacharach, heading south on the Rhine. Our plan today is to cycle about 50 kilometers to Mainz and get the train there to the airport station. Looks like it's going to be a nice sunny warm day. It's I think already 21. Castle up on the hill there on the right, and paths are quiet right now. We'll see how the train trip goes. We're trying to simplify the trains a bit, and rather than connecting, we'll just get to Mainz where it's one train to Frankfurt. Trains have been very busy. So the Rhine is on our left still, between the trees, hard to see. Somewhere over there. Had a nice dinner at a restaurant sitting next to, actually on the old Bacharach city wall, with the high-speed train and freight trains tracks 10 feet away, which actually was not as bad as it sounds. Nice little fall there. And we're sitting next to an old watchtower, and you could see some of the old cathedral. And had a nice, very nice dinner actually. Some Riesling wine. Maybe our second to last glass of Riesling. There's a tower up there on the hill. I think there's quite a few of these bergs on the way today. Old church here. I think we're about 6 kilometers from Bingen, and there's another castle up there on the hill, a berg up on the hill. Still in the UNESCO rest place, UNESCO World Heritage stretch of the Rhine. That's a big ship. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is big. Lamenta. This is definitely castle-y. Way up there. It's a pretty little section here. Narrowing a bit. I think that's the town of Bingen up ahead. Another way of coming down the path on your scooter. Yeah, down with a chairlift up there. Mostly been brick today on the path. Smooth as these things get, I guess. As we approached the city of Mainz, the bike path moved inland from the river a little bit, and we were mostly cycling on a series of dikes.
Yeah, well.
There's a branch of the like a little channel next to us, nothing on the river. Yeah, I see him. Little foot control thing here. Approaching the city of Mainz was sort of the worst part of the path that we had ridden on over the last week or two. And we kind of wended and winded our way through the city streets, heading towards the main train station in the city. Once we got to the train station in Mainz, we had a short wait for a train. It took about an hour to get to the Frankfurt airport. Unfortunately, on this trip, there was no way to reserve a spot for our bikes, but as we had done for most of this trip, we just crammed our bikes into some spaces that were available and mostly stood up. As we found to be the case at this Frankfurt airport station, like many other stations we were in, you spend a lot of time waiting for elevators and sort of convoluted pathways to get from the platform to wherever you're going.
We made our way through the underbelly of the Frankfurt airport back towards our hotel where our bike bags had been waiting because we stored them there. And so now we're ready to pack up our bikes and make one last quick trip into Frankfurt before we get on the plane tomorrow.
We spent our last evening walking around Frankfurt, enjoying some nice weather, some nice food, and a little geocaching before heading back to the hotel for our last night on the trip, and then packed up and left the next morning for the return to Ontario.
We hope you enjoyed these videos as much as we enjoyed making them. Stay tuned for our next set of videos where we fly into Barcelona and ride north along the Costa Brava.